In July 2025, Ukraine's Arton unit, a division under the DIU, identifies a significant Russian convoy moving through the Zaporizhia region. The convoy is made up of 15 armored vehicles. As soon as the enemy column begins its movement, Arton's FPV drone operators and artillery crews immediately prepare for engagement. Before reaching the contact line, the first 3 infantry fighting vehicles are hit and engulfed in flames struck 8 kilometers out. The rest of the APCs quickly become targets for the FPV drones. A powerful blast follows. Ukraine's objective is straightforward: eliminate the entire convoy before it can get close to their positions. This is when artillery support begins to fire. One of the shells hits directly. Other Russian vehicles trying to push forward are picked off one after another by Ukrainian drone operators. With their armored support taken out, Russian infantry abandon their vehicles and scatter into the nearby terrain. Ukrainian forces shift focus to clearing the battlefield, targeting the now immobilized Russian vehicles. Artillery fire and drone strikes rain down in relentless succession. One by one, the enemy machines are destroyed. A handful of intact Russian armored vehicles attempt to escape, but Ukrainian drone teams stay locked on the pursuit. All targets are neutralized. Thanks to the skillful coordination of the Arton unit and other Ukrainian defense forces, the convoy is destroyed before it poses any real threat. Meanwhile, in another Russian assault, disaster strikes almost immediately. A mine-clearing tank initially makes progress, rolling forward unharmed. But a barrier stands in its path. The Russian crew tries to clear it with a single shot, but the effort fails miserably. Almost immediately, Ukrainian tanks respond with fire, and the Russian vehicle is stopped in its tracks. Precision shots find their mark. The tank is taken out. One of the Russian infantry vehicles manages to deploy its troops, but the crew panics and flees. Ukrainian forces already have a Javelin missile locked and ready. A single strike. The vehicle's internal ammunition ignites in a violent explosion. As for the remaining Russian vehicles that turn to retreat, they don't get far. Ukrainian forces pursue them one by one, leaving no room for escape. A Russian tank crew attempts to conceal their vehicle in a wooded area, but the effort proves futile. The hiding spot is quickly discovered. Realizing they've been spotted, the crew frantically fires at the UAV overhead, but it's a hopeless effort. Shortly after, 2 additional Russian tanks are taken out. Then comes another costly error. One of the vehicles pushes forward, completely unaware of the danger ahead. The drone, however, is already locked in. It knows exactly where to strike. The impact is visible from kilometers away. In April 2025, Ukraine's 31st Mechanized Brigade identifies yet another Russian armored group on the Zaporizhia front. Having anticipated a possible offensive in this sector, Ukrainian forces spring into action without delay. A wave of artillery fire is unleashed. A massive explosion erupts. The enemy forces are stunned, instantly thrown into disarray. The lead vehicle in the retreating Russian convoy is hit directly. Engulfed in flames, it continues moving briefly, igniting the nearby terrain. But the intense heat causes onboard ammunition to detonate, sealing the vehicle's fate. The resulting explosion proves disastrous for the rest of the convoy. Mission accomplished. Enemy assets neutralized. Elsewhere, Ukrainian troops detect a Russian column advancing toward Sursky. It includes 6 armored units, tanks and IFVs, closing in step by step. Ukrainian drone operators track the movement in real time and begin preparing for an immediate strike. Then the engagement begins. Ukrainian artillery opens up, putting the Russian force under immense pressure. The enemy formation quickly collapses into confusion. Desperate to escape the barrage, they veer off course, but they remain well within artillery range. Ukrainian gunners intensify their fire. As the convoy edges closer, FPV drones are launched into the fray. The strikes escalate. Thick smoke blankets the battlefield. At the same time, Russian infantry attempt to push forward on foot. But Ukrainian drones pick them off one by one with precision. One Russian armored vehicle makes a break for it, attempting to flee. It doesn't get far. Coordinated action from 2 battalions of Ukraine's 54th Motorized Rifle Brigade ensures its destruction. The entire attack is shut down. In recent months, attacks like these have become a defining feature of the war. Russian armored convoy offensives, once sporadic, are now regular occurrences, happening weekly, and sometimes even daily, across the most active front lines. From the start of the invasion, Russian strategy has leaned heavily on large-scale armored convoys to transport troops, supplies, and munitions to the front. These columns often include tanks, IFVs, APCs, and fuel or ammo trucks. Their size varies, sometimes 10 vehicles, other times over 30. But their scale also makes them a perfect target, giant moving bullseyes for Ukraine's expanding drone fleet and reconnaissance network. Often, Ukrainian intelligence locates them before they even set off. Ground observers, drone teams, and resistance sources relay details like routes, timing, and vulnerabilities. Key regions Zaporizhia, Donetsk, Luhansk, and Sursky have become hotspots for these high-risk operations. The pattern is now familiar. The convoy rolls out, tanks in front, supply trucks behind. Ukrainian recon drones monitor every move, transmitting live data on formation gaps, movement speed, and weak points. Then the trap is sprung. The first blow almost always comes from FPV drones. A lead tank or IFV is struck with pinpoint accuracy. That one hit slows or blocks the convoy, forcing vehicles behind to halt. With no space to maneuver, they become sitting targets. Then the artillery takes over. Ukrainian batteries, armed with GPS-guided systems, rain shells onto the stalled convoy. In mere minutes, vehicles are in flames. Ammo trucks explode in sequence. Thick plumes of smoke rise, visible for miles. In the resulting chaos, Russian crews sometimes try to hide damaged vehicles in tree lines or abandoned buildings. But Ukrainian thermal drones still find them. When needed, Javelin teams or other anti-tank units finish the job with a single strike, transforming a concealed vehicle into a fireball. But these attacks do more than just destroy machinery. They fracture Russian morale. When frontline soldiers realize their support won't arrive, confidence erodes. Many units withdraw, abandon posts, or shift from offensive actions to desperate defense. What makes these ambushes so effective is Ukraine's seamless use of technology and coordination. Surveillance drones locate targets. Real-time communications guide the artillery. FPV drones handle close-range combat. Anti-tank teams stand ready for the kill. It's a well-synchronized system with zero guesswork. The result? In just a few minutes, Ukraine can wipe out convoys worth tens of millions in military hardware. What's left behind are burned-out tanks, destroyed ammo, and abandoned equipment strewn across blackened roads. These ambushes have become a regular feature of the battlefield, from Zaporizhia to Donetsk, Luhansk to Sursky. Every new Russian convoy is yet another opportunity for Ukraine's drone operators and artillery units to strike hard. And each successful operation further weakens Russia's capacity to advance into Ukrainian territory. One of the more striking elements of this war is how these devastating defeats are rarely acknowledged by Russian media at home. While Ukrainian drones dominate the battlefield, Russia attempts to bury the consequences from public view. While official Russian sources downplay the losses with vague claims of strategic withdrawals or logistical delays, the reality tells a different story. Night after night, the front line is illuminated by blasts, with thick plumes of black smoke rising against the horizon, undeniable proof for the world to see. In this war, convoy ambushes have grown beyond their tactical roots. They have become a critical strategic tool, reshaping the dynamics of the battlefield. Each destroyed armored column doesn't just halt an advance, it strengthens Ukraine's defensive hold and throws a wrench into Russia's offensive ambitions. Every burning wreck sends a powerful message: Ukraine's territory will not be taken without a fight. But what the world often doesn't see is what goes on behind the scenes. These successful ambushes are the product of countless hours of training, precise coordination, and brave soldiers adapting to an enemy that refuses to fight conventionally. In the woods and open fields of eastern Ukraine, small, mobile drone teams have emerged as some of the war's most impactful units. These teams patiently monitor convoys, sometimes for days, studying movement patterns, analyzing terrain, and waiting for the exact right moment to strike. Often operating under the cover of darkness, they brave mud, cold winds, and the constant threat of detection as they position themselves to launch. Their goal: stay invisible to Russian electronic warfare systems. When the target finally appears on thermal imaging, the operation unfolds in seconds. FPV drones launch into the night sky. Artillery units receive live targeting coordinates. Anti-tank teams stand ready to deliver the final blow. It's a deadly combination of tech precision and human determination, where even one misstep can mean failure. But when the hit lands, it prevents another wave of Russian steel from reaching Ukraine's villages and towns. These ambushes haven't just disrupted enemy logistics, they've sparked a tactical evolution along the front. Ukrainian teams continue to innovate, testing faster drones, extending communication ranges, and deploying coordinated drone swarms capable of overwhelming enemy defenses. Every day, more civilian volunteers with tech know-how are training to join the fight, transforming their skills into weapons of war. What's left behind after each successful strike isn't just twisted metal or scorched ground. It's a clear symbol: Ukraine's defenders are adapting faster than the invaders. For every convoy Russia sends, there's a response waiting, smarter, swifter, and more devastating. As long as these convoys roll, so too will Ukraine's message: no territory will be taken without resistance. Every burned-out vehicle buys Ukraine more than just time. It secures space, strengthens morale, and fuels hope for a future free from occupation.